Hello, John Dilworth here. And where are we? We're at the end. We're at the end of a new beginning, right? The picture is completed. And this is the model sheet that I drew up back in March of 2019. That's when it somewhat began there. And what do we got? We just have some animation drawings. The first minute was done on paper, right? I was doing something on paper. So I don't know. This is what we have that's left. Some funny drawings. Not a lot of them, but just memories. Like the corner, right? It gets all into that. And that's a unicorn. This is one of my favorite scenes to animate on paper. I want to show you what the film looks like. That's it. That's Howl If You Love Me. Can you believe this? It's on this thumb drive. And the rest of it exists as links. MP4s and ProRes, high def, and then the DCP. So you have all these different versions. But you may remember that this stuff started like this. Like this. This is when I started. Film was in this thing. Look at this. This is film 35. That's 35 right there. Now these are collector's items, I guess. You can sell these. Somebody has a film projection theater in their home, and that's life in transition, of course. But that that is Howl If You Love Me. So this is it. We've done it all, and I have to say, well, I must, and I want to, because none of this ever gets done in a vacuum alone. Right, I've just got all this noise. And then the storyboard. And the storyboard acted as everything to me. I kept track of which artists inked, which artists scanned, which artists did effects, which artists did backgrounds. And I all used it here on my board. There's everything on it. Ah! Oh, and now what do you do with it, right? Maybe there's a collector that would want it. And then don't forget our exposure sheets, which Lucas did a fine job in putting it together, and I just filled out all the alchemy. I made it so it looks like the timelines of whatever current software. And so I'm happy to discontinue Toon Boom, because I had to pay for this monthly, and if really it was but these are animation drawings. So that's 2019, and today is 2023, and we have a movie that's 7 minutes and 47 seconds long. Let me move all this stuff. And that to me is a good sign, because 747, what is that? A giant plane. They can go everywhere. Right? Flies around the world. I can go, and that's what I would like Howl to do, is fly around the world. And here's the last bit of our nostalgia, the treatment, right? And that says March, right? 2019, whenever that happened. So what's the next stage? The next stage is we acknowledge those people that God sent as angels on earth, and the executive producers, Valerie Johnson and Pavel Sventansky, and my long time collaborator and genius, William Hohauser, and Belly One, who's taken over the festival commands. So that's what happens now. Now we just submit it to the world and see what the world has to say about it. And that's the process. I mean, okay, 4 years in production, and it really didn't have to take that long. I mean, I have colleagues who make feature films in half that time. And everybody has their own ways of working, of course, and our films will look very, very different. But Howl works on another level. It's 8 minutes, but you got such a condensed experience of emotions, and it really does warrant you seeing it on the largest screen possible, with the music by Pavel and the sound effects by William, and Chip Fabrizi did our audio mix. Uh, it was a great team. And all of the artists that worked on Howl, you know who you are. And if you're taking any pleasure in knowing that we have completed this project, and now we just send it out to the world, like I said. And that's a whole nother level of business, because every festival has their own requirements and it's time consuming to submit. But the submitting is why we made it. We want the world to see it, but on a big screen, big screen. Of course, we're going to work it into the Blu-ray, and that's the next stage. I'm putting together, finally going back and assembling my Blu-ray. We'll have all my films on it, and Howl will be the latest. So where do we do now? We think about why we love animation, and it's the freedom. It's freedom of expression, autonomous. No one tells us what to do. I mean, we make art because it's a gift to the world that we want to give as part of ourselves. No constraints. Only exuberant, willful acts. And what could be more fun than using our imagination, something that comes from within? We don't need we don't need external forces other than the history of our medium over 100 years, and a continuation of the language of it, however it develops. It has to be right for you, and you have to be able to find, say we find ourselves in the work. Because I think that's what translates ultimately. That's what translates. And when I look back on Howl, it's so complex, I can't even begin to unpack it. And I hope to have some intelligent conversations if I ever get invited to a festival. And I hope that you all see it one day in a big screen, because I made it for the big screen, and I made it to move you, to move audiences. It wasn't a selfish act. Well, pleasing me. It was a lot of rewriting, especially at the end. And I most appreciate Pavel's theoretical challenges to the narrative that made me rethink about my ending especially, which is far more superior than the one I had written back in 2019. And here's another observation about collaboration. And collaboration has to be something we agree, a mutual agreement. It has to be mutual agreement. And there cannot be an agreement if we're not equals. So there it is. You make room. You elect for mutual respect, if of course it's warranted, and if someone's working on your team and they have good ideas, you want to have a dialogue, conversation about your art. So congratulations, and I want to thank all the viewers and subscribers and fans and students that have just hung around and watched this process evolve, develop, and finally come to a conclusion. And you will hear more and more about the picture as we move forward this year, especially this year. 2023 and into 2024. And really, who knows what the world is going to be like in 2024. So I thought it was a good idea to strike now and complete the film and send it around and hope, and hope that we can continue to enjoy the many aspects of making animated films, which is going to the festivals and meeting your colleagues and watching great art and travel, unrestricted travel, the freedom to travel and experience cultures, and no fear. We just live. The idea is to live. Right, so this is it. It's late and I'm tired, of course. And then there is the absolute real phenomenon of a deflation after such an enterprise. And as many films as I've made, I never shake the deflation. But it's good always to have projects in various stages of development so that you go from one to the other and you just keep rolling, keep being creative. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what all my peers and colleagues are doing as well. So it's normal. So that's what's to expect for us, more for the beginners coming out into this wonderful art form. So I'm going to leave these Howl videos up for another week, and then I'm going to take them down. And I don't know if they'll reappear, but the process is over. And I'll have other things that I'll post, other kinds of updates and etc. Maybe I'll go back to Sunday with Dilly, which was always kind of fun. So what I wish for you all and for myself, of course, is to stay animated.